Week number 3 saw the top team stumble but still remain at the top. I Love Lamp stunned the league by forfeiting, and Game Over looked to prove Nagatron wrong in their match against Maple Freedom. All this plus an interview with Tofusmurf coming right up on Present Arms.
Welcome to Gold League Season 6.
Hello Tankers, welcome to Present Arms. I'm your host, Christian Bullock, aka Meadowhawk. Well, week number 3 was very strange. That saw all the undefeated teams lose, as well as a forfeit and an overtime-filled second night. So let's get on with the scores. The week started off with 07 looking to continue their strong start this season, but it all came to an abrupt halt as High Voltage steamrolled them to a 5-0 loss. High Voltage came out of the gates with great play and strong strategies on Lakeville, and 07 seemed to stubbornly refuse to adapt to what was being thrown at them. Next, Maple Freedom, still looking for their first Gold League points, took on Team Rival. Having come off their win against Synergy, Team Rival may have underestimated Maple Freedom's will to win, as Maple Freedom easily pulled out a 5-1 victory. Elevate was also looking to hold on to their undefeated status against #RU, but #RU has really come together in the past week, and their fantastic play on Himmelsdorf secured a 5-2 win over Elevate. And to end the first night, Noble showed us they aren't going to sit in the basement of the standings, beating top-seeded Team Refuse and handing them their first loss in a 5-3 match. Night 2 started off with an exciting match with Simp and Synergy battling it out back and forth to a 4-4 tie. Synergy had a strong advantage getting the defense on steps in the overtime match, but Simp forced their way through to take the match 5-4. I Love Lamp stunned the league by forfeiting their match against 07. Early reports confirmed that Lamp wasn't able to field enough players on the night. We'll keep you up all informed on anything that develops around this. Hopefully it was only just a hiccup for Lamp on this night, and they'll be back next week. Game Over seems to be driven by Nagatron's comments Tuesday as they battled it out fiercely against Maple Freedom. The tug-of-war went back and forth until overtime was needed. Game Over successfully defended on steps this time, though earning them the first win in a 5-4 victory. And ending off the week, we had Team Rival taking on now favorite High Voltage. Team Rival put up a great fight, winning games with surprise cap strategies. However, High Voltage advantage after Himmelsdorf was too much, and they powered on to a 5-2 victory. So in the standings, #RU is now our leader, followed by Team Refuse, 07, and High Voltage. However, the next 3 teams still have a game in hand on the leaders. Maple Freedom, Team Rival, Game Over have all picked up points, leaving I Love Lamp at the bottom after their forfeit. And joining us now to discuss what it takes to put together and run a contending team in the Gold League is the captain of the High Voltage, John Lowe, aka Tofusmurf. Thank you for joining us, John.
Thanks for having me.
So the question on everyone's mind at the start of the season was, will High Voltage be able to take advantage of all these individual star players and get them to work together as a team and gel? Now that we're into week 3, how has the chemistry of your team progressed and improved?
To begin with, we always had good out-of-game chemistry. We're all good friends, and so it's always fun playing together, practicing together, and stuff like that. So all we really needed to hash out was just how we can get used to each of us playing, our little quirks and how we do things and stuff like that. And I think it's been going pretty well. Adding Daki also helps. We've known him for a long time now, so he kind of just fit right in perfectly. So I would say everything's progressing pretty well.
We've seen an influx of international players from the other regions this season. Elevate started with 3, and in the latest trading period, #RU has picked up Eclipse from Russia, and you guys have picked up Daki from the European region. So what do these players from the international regions bring to your teams that North American players can't?
Well, I can only speak on our end. From our end, the way Wally likes to call, for example, is very aggressive, and it was like that even in 742, which didn't work quite as well because of the format, but in 754, it's kind of what he enjoys doing. So we like to call pretty aggressively, and sometimes that could get us in trouble. And Daki has he was a caller, for his team in EU, so he can bring the balance between some of our aggressive calling, which is something he likes to do as well. But he also knows a lot of the EU strats and how to play in a maybe a slower, more deliberate format as well. So I think having that dynamic, we have now the flexibility to go with either option and try to bring something new pretty much every match, so that we're not one of those teams that you could watch our replays and be able to counter us every week. We're going to bring something new, regardless of the map, and regardless of the opponent. There's always going to be something new and fresh.
In your games this season, Ox Mathis has been absolutely terrorizing other teams with his artillery. How does having access to a strong RD player change your approach to maps and working out strategies for those maps?
I think I wouldn't say it would change how we play. It's just one of those things where, it's just another weapon in the arsenal, where we know we have the liberty to use him as an RD, and he's, it's awesome that he's also a really good tanker as well. So now every match we approach, every map we approach, we have the flexibility to go with, heavy lineups, light lineups. We can go with lineups with RD. It's just another weapon to have, and, I would say his play as an RD is equal to everyone's ability to play any tank well. So it's just I think it's just a good representation of just how comprehensive of a team we are, where everyone can play their tank to the best of their ability, regardless of what tank we decide to stick them in. Because I can guarantee you this: Ox isn't the only RD player on this team that can play it well.
Isn't that a scary thought? Well, thank you very much for joining us, John. Best of luck with the rest of your season. We've already met on the battlefield this week, and I don't want to give away too many spoilers, but let's just say you might have wrecked us. I definitely hope to see you again in the playoffs, though.
All right, thank you for having me. See you again.
This week's map meta doesn't see any drastic changes. However, there seems to be a slight favor towards city maps. Ghost Town has gained the most share, increasing 1.6%, and Lakeville has dropped back down to last place at 12.6%. And on this week's Highlight of the Week, it's a trap! We feature not just one player, but one team's devastating trap. Team Rival thinks outside the box and sets up a 2-cap trap on Ghost Town. Unfortunately for Wahax, it didn't go so well for him, but here's Toma and Nagatron calling the action.
Right now, High Voltage's positions are very well prepared to prevent a northern cap. We'll see if they have a solution for the middle cap, because that is a lot of pressure coming out from Rival there.
Immediately, 3 members dropping the cap now to 23 seconds. High Voltage, as you can see, all responding on their map simultaneously as they're now pressing into the center map at the center cap point. Let's see if Rival has a good response, and there's some shots going in, firing by Blue Boys captain over on the side. Nothing connecting yet. Now down to 10 seconds. Wallhacks either pop around and get a shot off quick, or Rival is just going to run in and take this one. But over on the side, Angry coming around, Wallhacks popping out, getting destroyed before he can take a shot off. But to Killzor, getting a good chunk into there, exactly what they need to reset the cap, but the pressure is still on, and being a tank down, Rival hopefully can maintain the lead they have, but a lot of damage is coming up from Anubis. High Voltage now in the respective positions. Anguy from the back in a good little position for the flank. HK further back behind him, but now the cap is down to 0 seconds. They need to get a shot. They need to get the reset. It doesn't look like they got it. Team Rival looks like they've successfully attacked.
Well played, Team Rival, you sneaky hobbitses. Christian Toma won't like to hear this, but Nagatron is now first placed in Fantasy League. On his heels are the High Voltage gang of Photo Finish, Tofusmurf, and Wallhacks. Not only are these guys good on the battlefield, but apparently they know this league very well too. Your top 7 pros by points per battle have changed up. They are Swipple, still having only played 6 games, Vextrosity, Godzilla Mode, Dekillzor, Akula V, Synergy 3K, and Heavy 20. And my Fantasy 1v1 this week was fraught with troubles. On the first night while making my picks before the matches started, my power went out, leaving me with only World War II Fanatic. However, being the honorable dueling man that he is, B-Ted allowed me to write my picks on paper. I had a great night, putting me up 278 points after that. However, on the second night while still at work, I didn't receive the memo that Pub Whisper would not be playing, and this gave B-Ted his opening to come back. And come back he did. B-Ted had a great night, surpassing me by 138 points and winning the 1v1. Congratulations, B-Ted, you have definitely earned my gold after that showing on night number 2. Next week's challenger has been drawn, and it's _Millard. Best of luck, Millard. I'll be on vacation, but I'll be sending my picks in with my cell phone. And that wraps up our third week's coverage. Be sure to check out all the action on week 4 on battleviewer.com as the top teams continue to battle it out to see who will remain King of the Hill. There may not be a new Present Arms episode next week due to my vacation, but I'll try my best. And as always, until next time, at ease.